You can insert any SIM card from any provider on this router and we will have access to the internet. And it works with any carrier. But if you want to connect using an Ethernet cable, we can also do that. It has a great range and really solid speeds, and the 4G 5G speeds depends on the location and the carrier that we have. My best speeds using one out of two providers that I've tested were about 700 megabits per second, which is above what I've got here fiber in my house. And although it is a router to be at home connected to any socket, I will share with you how I did turn this into a portable router, connecting it to a power bank and an adapter so that I could walk around my neighborhood to see where the provider signal was the best, which was really fun. So if you want to take it to the beach, you can do that and share the internet with everyone. It's called Mercusys MB520-5G. It is a Wi-Fi 6 router that can be connected to any carrier through a SIM card or to our home network and then spread the signal and use it as a main router. This is one of the things that I was not expecting, but towards the end of the test I was realizing that this can be my main router and with a fail-safe, because if my internet at home fails, it will automatically go to the SIM card, and we will check how that works. It has one 2.5 gig WAN or LAN port, one 1 gigabit LAN port, one phone port, and on the top there are two connections for the external antennas, which is optional. In case we want to use stronger ones, we just need to connect with an SMA connection. It's super simple to use. We can take it out of the package. It comes with all the accessories that we need. And if you are using a provider like mine that doesn't require a PIN code, we just need to insert it into the router, plug it in, and it will power automatically. All the lights will turn on with the exception of the landline phone because I didn't connect one. Then we just need to install the app, follow the steps for the registration, firmware updates, choose the Wi-Fi name, and we are good to go. Now we can start using with the app or without the app. We just need to connect to the router, and here on the office, as you guys know, the maximum speed that I got from this particular carrier is around 120 megabits per second, give it or take, but I believe that I'm achieving higher results with the router instead of using directly on the phone. Now in the app we will have access to the network data, speed, connected devices, data usage, Wi-Fi settings and internet options. You can choose your preferred connection, for example the wired one, but if it fails it will automatically switch to the SIM cards or the other way around. This is one of our choices. There are also extra settings like the LED control and so on, but minor things. And if you want to set it up with a different provider which has a SIM card with a PIN number, which is the same that I do have right over here, then all we need to do is inside the app activate the PIN and put in our PIN code. And once we do that, the lights will turn on showing that everything is connected, and boom, we've got internet. Then if we switch SIM cards later, this was something really cool. I will have everything automatically because I've chosen to remember the PIN from that particular SIM card, and I was swapping from DIGI and MEO, which are the two providers that I use. So I just plugged one in, plugged the other one in, and it didn't request any PIN because it did recognize these SIM cards, and this was really cool. Now if we want more options, we can just log in from our computer and we will find all the usual router settings. There are two menus. One is called basic and the other one is called advanced, and in a basic menu we will find the most common and easy settings like changing the network name, guest network, parental controls and so on. And as the name says, advanced menu, we will find more complex stuff like the port forwarding, VPNs, firewall and so on. So if you ask me, Robert, did you find anything that was missing from the routers that you test out? The answer is no, and I will explain how I see this router in a different way that I was thinking about it when I learned that I was about to test it out, because it was a 5G router and I thought, okay, this is only for holidays, but I was mistaken. I did connect it to my Ethernet connection here in the office, and it easily hits the 500 megabits per second, which is my limit on my network. And in the next room, with a few walls in between, I still managed to get the full 500 megabits, which is really, really nice. Now, going to the backyard with another wall and about 20 meters straight in an area of about 200 square meters, I got around 400 to 450 megabits, so really, really cool. And then upstairs on the balcony, I was getting about 160 to 180 megabits. On the room directly above the office, which is just upstairs from here, it held really steadily at 450 megabits per second. And on the living room, which is a bit further away, it dropped to about 50. Now, when we go in the kitchen area, which is my critical area for any router, it went down to about 30 megabits. And then finally, it lost its signal, and that was the limitation. But it was really impressive, especially because I was not trying to compare this router with other routers that we have seen dedicated to homes. I was thinking about this router as something to take only on holidays. But it's not. I can have it on my home as my main router. And then, of course, with the advantage that I can take it to my holidays because I can use my SIM card and just have access anywhere with a great coverage. And if you've got a 5G SIM card, then you will be able to get great speeds according to the provider and the area that you are. Now, the best speed that I was getting was about 700 megabits per second, which is really, really cool in one of the providers. And the other provider, I went driving and I did find that 400 megabits per second was the best speed, at least here near my house. So that was really cool. Now, if you want to take this router for holidays, and if by any chance you want to use a power bank, then it's really simple. I'm using one power bank, which at this moment is powering my camera, but it's in. I will leave a link down below. And the only thing that I did connect was a USB Type-C cable to a 5.5 jack barrel right over here, which is a budget cable, a cheap cable, and that was it. And in terms of energy efficiency, it's really cool because between starting the tests, which were about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and ending the tests, and I did a few things on the way, past 2 hours or so, and it only dropped 3% on the power bank battery. So that was really impressive how this router, even being pushed with speed tests and so on and so forth, using 5G cards and so on, only depleted 3% of battery in 2 hours in a 20,000 milliamp power bank. So I'm impressed with this router. It's obvious, it's really simple to use, it's really fun to use. I can give this to someone that has never touched in a router, and with a simple manual that comes inside here, just with the app, it will get this thing working in about 5 minutes or so. But at the same time, I can give this to someone a bit more curious and a bit more experienced, and he will be able not only to use the app on the phone and the options on the computer, so that it can take full advantage of all the features that this router has. And if by any chance this guy goes in holiday and he wants to share the internet with his family and friends and even some neighbors, that's a real chance because the Wi-Fi coverage is more than I've ever seen on any 5G router that I've tested. So yes, I'm surprised with the coverage that it has in terms of the Wi-Fi, because usually we tend to look at 5G or 4G routers to have in a small area, and usually they are not capable of passing through walls and through ceilings and things like that. Now, the only thing that I wasn't able to connect was a phone. Now, I don't have landline phones for quite a few years. I went to my mom's house, she borrowed hers, but I did try it here with no luck. So I will try to keep on looking for a few phones. This was something that I got really curious, because if I take this on holiday and if I use my SIM card that usually I use on my phone, if I want to receive any phone call, I don't want to be offline, but I don't want to be with the phone at the same time. I want to be enjoying the internet. So it looks and it sounds like a great idea to be able to connect a landline phone right over here, and if a phone call comes, I will be able to answer. Now, one thing that I was successfully testing out was the messaging system. So if I have my SIM card on the router, I'm able to send messages, SMS, and receive messages to that number that I'm using just by using the app, and that was really, really cool. So if the SMS system was working to receive and send messages, the phone is working as well. I just need to find a phone that works here. And when I do, I will show it you. So it's a router that we can take with us for our vacation, but at the same time is a router that I'm not scared to be using it as my main router at home. This will only depend on what I'll need. And even then, it has one feature that if I need more, and it's right over here, Easy Mesh, I will be able to later on, if I need to add more devices to my network, use it with Easy Mesh and have other devices spread over my house, giving me the coverage that I require. So this is something that it's really, really cool. It's not limited. We will be able to expand with different models, just that they have Easy Mesh. That being said, hope that you enjoyed the video about this router, which is really, really impressive. If that was the case, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.